I did it with Miller, Paul
Oh, Paul
Miller,
Miller
who
before.
was wanted the CBS system. When I AD'd with him, he said, I want to implement the CBS system, which means readying the cameras so that the cameras were readied by the AD and the shot sequences were communicated to the cameraman through the AD. So shots were all numbered. The NBC system, we don't number shots. CBS system, we do. So in other words, every sketch would have 1 through how many shots? If there's 35 shots in a sketch, be 1 through 35. And the different cameras would have, camera 1 might have shot 1, 5, and 6, or whatever. And then you would have to ready those cameras because you would be on the PL with the cameraman. I was not on the PL with the cameraman in what you just saw. I was on the PL with music, Leon Pendarvis. All the music was cued by me. I was on the music with on the PL with score music, what they call quarter-inch tape. And I was on the PL with sound effects. And the control studio, of course. ADs are always on the PL with the control studio. The director doesn't want to be involved in dealing with the control studio. It's a separate job. Mm-hmm. If they're not done right, they can put you off the air. Or if you cue them incorrectly, you could be responsible for them taking you off the air. So that's something all directors want delegated. Paul Miller also wanted ADs to roll the tapes. He didn't like to roll tapes. So if we had a lot of tape in the show, it was the AD's job to roll the tapes. He'd set the cue with the director. Mm-hmm. And but when the roll cue time came, it was the AD that rolled it.
And so with Davey, what changed?
Davey rolled his own tapes. But the ADs would set the cues and agree on the cues, and it would be ADs responsible to see that the tape machines were cued correctly. Some cues would change. They wouldn't be the same all the time. Some cues we would do on a 2-second roll, others we'd do 15 frame, others we would do almost from a still frame. It depended on the nature of it. So essentially the AD does what the director wants him to do. Sometimes I would direct promos, like if there'd be a live promo into the show and Lorne wanted Davey at a meeting, he would tell the coordinating producer, tell Bobby to direct the promo, because I want Davey up here in the office. So I would do that. And that would be a live promo that we would do with the cast from the set. We didn't do them often, but on occasion we did.
So how much are you juggling? How many cues are you calling? How many other departments are you in communication with when you're calling the show live?
Well,
who are you on headset to?
Leon Pendarvis, Lenny Pickett, the music room, the audio guys listen in too. Sometimes we do tracks that come from the audio room. Usually the AD cues the track, an audio track that plays in sync with the guest band. So that would be an AD cue.
And then what happens, like we saw a little bit of if a cast member ad-libs and you didn't expect something to happen, what do you got to watch out for?
Well, you can't control that. I didn't know he was going to ad-lib something. And I felt I had given the cue. I had already rolled the control studio.
What does that mean, roll to the control studio?
I had given the cue to the control studio that controls the show. The show doesn't go on the air direct. 8H goes on the air, even today, presently, goes on the air through a control studio. The feed goes to a control studio, and the control studio feeds the network. So I had rolled 8G, and those days the cue was 5 seconds. Today it's a 2-second roll cue. In those days it was a 5-second roll cue. So that meant that once I rolled her and I hear her give her cue on her end, or his cue, that 5 seconds later we're going to be away. We're going to fade and we're going to be switched away. So I thought there should be some recognition of the sketch. So I started to cue the applause, and meanwhile this actor said a line that got buried in the applause. So he started yelling about that.
Davey started.
Yeah.
But you didn't take when something like that happens though. Do you take it personally? Do you feel bad? Or what do you have?
Oh yeah, you always feel bad. Yeah, always. But and I don't know if you could hear him at the end of what you just played. He's telling me, "Oh, that's all right, because I apologized to him again. Usually, you apologize right away when you do the offense, and then after the show, you apologize."
Yeah.
But he didn't care. He said, "No, don't worry about it." In fact, when he used the F word, he wasn't saying it at me. Later, he said, what the fuck? He says, it doesn't matter, what the fuck?
As a coworker, and I mean, as you know, the person you gotta please and impress the most during the show is Dave, right? So,
definitely. If you don't please him or the director, you're out. Although he wasn't that a malicious person. He's never threatened to remove me from the show or anything. Ever. But I think in general I did a good job for him.
Why did he leave in '95? Do you know why?
Because he couldn't smoke anymore.
That
They took the banning. Oh yeah, definitely.
So there was a ban in New York. You couldn't smoke inside.
Wasn't even supposed to be smoking on this show, but we overlooked it. Coordinating producer asked us if we would make an objection. We said, no, of course not. How could we object? We worked all these years with him. For 2 more shows, we're not going to drive him crazy. Everybody liked Davey.
Yeah. 18 years.
Jan Kassoff used to say he was like Dr. Jekyll and Dr. Hyde. When he put the PL on his head, he was Dr. Jekyll. When he took the PL off his head, he was Dr. Hyde.